Hey, I want to make a quick video on how to take out the center dash on your 90s series Toyota pickup. And this is a little bit for me too, so I can get the darn thing back together. In other videos I showed out how to get other parts off, but on this section what I did was there's two screws. Oops. There's one up here and one over here, and I just took those out, and I could kind of like wiggle around and it just wasn't coming out. So anytime you're doing something like this, you don't want to force anything. And I noticed that there's a cable connected back here, so I'll need to disconnect that still. But what really was kind of tricky was there's a screw right up in here. I already took it out, and hopefully this is coming out. It's kind of dark out here, but there's a screw in here I just left in. But I took that screw out, and the way I was able to get to this whole section here was this panel used to be on there, and all I did was I centered all the levers and I pulled off all the little connectors there. They just come straight out. See how they're all centered up there, and you just take those off. And I'm going to get a Ziploc bag and put all these parts in so I can find them later on. And then once I got this off, one really tricky piece is you have to take this off from this side first, and hopefully that'll show up. It looks like you could take it off here, but you can't. You got to go all the way to the outer edge there, and you just got to get something that's really thin and flat, and then you kind of just pry it out. I ended up actually prying a little bit on the bottom to help pop out, and also you can kind of lift up on this a little bit to give you a little clearance there. And so I just pulled it out this side here and this side last. This is your clock plate. Mine was already punched out. A lot of times that won't be punched out, it'll be in there. In fact, that's an upgrade. Everybody punches those out. Toyota's nice that they left the wiring on there so you can go to like a 4Runner, take the clock, take off this plate and plug it in, and you got yourself a 4Runner clock. But I think that's the AC button. It fell out. There's a button in here, it just came right out. It's around here somewhere. Here it is. So this is, yeah, it was the AC button. That just came right out, no problems. And so then, now that I took off that top screw, and these two from up top, this will just start coming out. And there's going to be a wiring behind, I think, the hazard light, and again this one here. But so that's pretty much it. This is ready to come out, and I just got to disconnect those wire connectors out. And so hopefully this video helps somebody out if you need to get this piece off. Okay, I figured I better make sure I could actually get the darn thing off. So I took the connector off this bottom piece. Sorry about the blurriness, this camera does that when it gets a little dark out. And I took the connector off the hazard light, and you got to kind of drop your steering down to the lowest position. Here's the lever for that, and kind of rock it this way and just work with it. And the last piece is make sure it's going to hit this here. So I don't know if I can do this one-handed, but I pretty much got it out. And so I'm gonna need two hands, but you just gently work at different angles. And again, watch out for that because it's going to hang on there. So let me put the camera down. Okay, basically got it all cleared. Watch this lift up here. It'll kind of catch on the padding a little bit. So, but you know, now it's clear. Can set that aside. Part of the reason why I'm doing this is I think there's a big rat's nest or something inside here. I'm not getting any ventilation flow from that side through here, so trying to get access to those pipes. And then next I'm going to take this out. This should be pretty straightforward. It's just a bolt or a screw here, 4 screws, basically one in each corner. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Where is that piece? So on your lock or your ignition, this piece here will just come off. It's just got clips on. Man, sorry about the focus. It just got clips there. Just gently rock it out. I did that early on, took that off, so you don't have to deal with that. When you're taking this off, let me show you a cable on the other side. I think this is the way to do this. Oh, it's pretty dark in here. Basically, you gotta find your throttle cable, which is underneath this heater hose. See that black circle thing? It clips in down here, which you probably can't see in any of that. And then there's one more. Let me go get a flashlight. Okay, so right where that yellow tag is, right there. See, I just took it out of that clip there and set it out front. And then if you follow that cable down, down there, try to get the light on it. And of course it's not going to focus. There it is, right there. There's another clip. I just popped the cable out of there and pushed as much slack into the firewall as I could. Sorry about the poor video on this. It's dark, but just be aware that that's your cable that runs your transmission. You want to give it some slack so that when you take this out, it's not all that tight. And it's important that you put those back in the clips. If you forget to put those in the clips, it'll cause your speedometer to shake really bad. So, and I'm gonna, anyway, so that's about it. Maybe I'll show a video when I take that out. Alright, now that it's daylight again, we can see better. I wanted to show you a couple of things. On the main thing was on the back of this. This is where the speedometer cable goes. Up here's where those clips go. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And I just want to show you how that works. So on these clips, you just squeeze down. I use this blue one here. You just squeeze down on this back tab, and it kind of like drops that piece down there, and then you can pull them out. So you need to kind of reach behind there and pull all 4 of those out. And there's the speedometer cable. And the trick with this is right here. There's a button. You got to push that. I don't know if it'll show up on cable, but or on the camera. But see, when I squeeze that back, it lifts up that little latch piece there, and that's how you release that cable from the back of the gauge cluster there. And the way I got at it is I had to reach in with my hand kind of back this way to reach that, push that, and then it slipped off, and then that's how I got it out. So let me show you the hood now that it's light a little bit, underneath the engine, in the engine bay. Okay, so in the firewall, that's the back of that speedometer cable there. You can see how tight it is against the wall. So that right there, so I undid that clip right there, and then let me see if I can get a shot of the one clip below. Okay, we'll give this a shot. That's the cable I was just showing you. If I swing over here, it's pretty dark down there. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's not it. I'll have to get a light, I believe. Oh, there it is. See that one right there? It went inside that clip there, so I just lifted it up out of it. So you can see the cable run down here, and it goes to that bottom clip. So I undid both those, and that gave me just enough slack to get that cluster out and reach back there and get that cable loose.